Well, hi, and welcome to my coaching story. This week we travel to Florida, Tampa Bay, St. Pete area. Barb Kyes, how are you, Barb?
I'm awesome. And you, Brad?
Fantastic. It's great to have you with me today. You know, Barb, over the many years of coaching, you've always seemed to really enjoy it and get excited by it. But I guess then it leads to the question, what is it that makes you love coaching? Why do you enjoy it so much?
Well, that's really an easy question to answer for me, because it's really about helping people be their best self. And we get to be part of that. You know, I used to be a nurse, and it was in the environment of not so healthy. But this is the opportunity to help people be healthier in their business, in their lives, in their relationships, and have bigger goals than they ever thought were possible.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. People don't really get it that the business coach makes your life better, not just your business better, because the stress, that must be a fun part to watch people's lives change, not just their businesses.
Absolutely. In fact, one of the things we do as a team is we love taking that initial photo with the coach, because once they've been in coaching over years, they look totally different. And it's because of the personal improvement they've had. Yeah. Because we are the people that might say to them, hey, you might want to get a headshot, not your camera, those kinds of things.
So let's go back. You mentioned being a nurse. Let's take a look at your background prior to becoming a coach, and how, I don't want to say it made you like perfectly led you to being a coach, but it dang close to it.
Well, part of that, you know, people ask me that all the time. And here's the bottom line on this. Okay. All those years I was creating nursing care plans to help the entire patient become a better, healthier person, right? So instead of doing this patient care plans, they're called business plans. It's the same process, only it's business language, the language of business and financials. So it's really a simple transition for me. Yes, I had to get some other learning and investment in my time in that, which is why I've become who I have become. And part of that too is if you ever want to be an action coach, you need to be a continuous learner, because that's what your skill set becomes in your IP.
Well, you know, you are the owner of your business currently with yourself and your husband. To actually, his background also led to helping you guys build a great firm. And I think that as a family-based firm, you guys have such an amazing realm of experience that I think people should understand a little more. So yeah, tell us about both the rest of the team. Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. Well, Ford's back, he was also a nurse, and we tease him about going to the dark side of administration. And when that ended, like a lot of employee situations do, we decided that we wanted to find a way to stay in our beloved city of St. Petersburg. So we looked at different options. This particular franchise was the one that checked all of our boxes, because we knew we had the people skills. We just needed to learn the other things we needed to learn. Yeah. And then Juliet, our daughter, who's been with us since day one, was looking for an entrepreneurial program, and there weren't any 14 years ago, right? So we invited her to come and do our marketing plan with us, and she begged us to hire her, even though we had already decided we weren't going to, because we knew she'd ask us. It was the best decision we ever did. I can't even imagine if she wasn't working with us. If she was working for a competitor, we would have been out of business years ago.
You know, when you look at Ford's administration and running of the hospitals and running of all of that business side of it, and the care and that of human beings, it sort of melds to become the great business. And Juliet's marketing side of things is a great thing. Now, you've built a whole larger team to run the business and do the coaching and that sort of thing. But before we get to the team side of it, let's look at the client side of it. Now, you run a bunch of different programs with clients. You do a lot of one-to-one. But you also do group programs. Tell me about both of those and a little bit so people understand how you work with your customers.
Okay. Well, one of the things that's really awesome about Action Coach, and I can even say this to the founder, is that we have lots of tools in our cupboards we can pull out and put programs right in place. So what we've done in our marketplace is evaluate the marketplace. And for us, it is the one-on-one coaching. And we do love that too, because we get to individualize that personal growth with people. But we recently reopened like a starter program. It's similar to Profit Club, but it's for people that aren't quite ready for that personal, as people call it, even though it's not something we would say internally, they call it, I want a personal coach.
Yeah.
And that's what they call it in my area. I want a personal coach. I don't want to be in a group. So we do have a group program for people that aren't ready for a personal coach, because there's going to be more accountability. There's going to be more responsibility to read more and do more and grow yourself. Because as you know, if you don't grow your leadership lid, what happens?
Yeah.
The business doesn't grow, right?
Well, you mentioned the education and that side of it. You do a lot of education programs. Each quarter you run education and planning sessions with clients. And I think it's important to note, though, that not only is it education, but it's community. And a lot of your clients say one of the biggest things they get out of being a part of your team or having you as their coach is that they get a real community. Tell me more about why do you put the community together, and what's the benefit of that for business owners?
Okay. So everybody wants to be with somebody they like, right? So people are looking for like-minded people to be with that aren't like the water cooler conversation, that are complaining about everything. I can't do this. I can't do that. It's her fault. It's his fault. I'm waiting for this and that. You know, so these are the people that believe in what we do, which is above and below the point. And by being in a community, they feel comfort as if they've gone home, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we originally came from a small town. So we're those people. We're going to greet and welcome people into our group. But the other point of that, Brad, is not everybody is a good match for our team, because we want that culture of our community to stay the same. You know, that everybody has that welcoming feeling. I'll tell you a really quick story. Years and years ago, we used to do our socials when we had our condo in Innisbrook. And this particular individual was complaining about a lot of things. And one of our clients turned to him and said, "Who is your coach?" You know, and it was really, really funny. And that person later became a client.
Yes.
So funny.
You know, it is interesting when you build communities of business owners, how they push each other as well, because it's, I don't know, maybe they're just a little bit competitive with each other. And you guys seem to have a great competitive nature amongst your clients. How did you breed that? How did you build that into your organization?
I just think over time, because what we do is in our annual celebration of the years in business, we give client awards. So they have to have certain accomplishments to get those awards. So we invite everybody, past clients, and we came up with a concept too. And I think corporate did this too at some point, but we used to put name tags on people so non-clients would know who the people were. So they'd not only have their name and their business name on it, but they would have a ribbon that would say member. So our active clients had member on them. And the ones that, as we call, graduate from coaching, would have alumni. And then people that didn't have little ribbons, they didn't belong, right? People would starts that whole conversation, you know? Like, how do you get a ribbon like that? You know, it's a simple question.
You join the team. You join the team.
That's right.
It's not that complex. When you look at the results you get with clients, are there any that stand out where you go, you know, that one I really love seeing that client do that? Any that stand out for you?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that we realized, actually, after Juliet and I came back from your master class around buying, building, and selling businesses, we came back and said, "Oh my God, we're doing this." You know? We just didn't think about it like that, because what we do in coaching, by building a profitable enterprise that can work without the owner, we are actually getting them ready for sale. So one of the things that we had this big aha around was that we have had 28 business owners sell their businesses while we were coaching them. And the last one got 10x. Yeah, it was a big M.
Yeah, they were very happy.
Yeah, very happy. And we're still in the company right now. So because the job has been done well, and they still see the value, even though there's new ownership. And it was a strategic buy. So it's really good for all included. You know, and it doesn't have to be a big company. Even little ones if they build the structure and it's not wrapped around the owner, they have the opportunity to be successful. I would say that that's one of them, especially. And the other one, my favorite one is my second decade client who happens to be my personal physician, who can really describe business coaching better than anybody I ever knew.
Yeah, when you
to
sit
see
down,
her develop what she has over those years. Yeah.
When you sit down and you start to see the growth of our clients, like taking someone who was a hands-on physician and helping them become the owner of a business that employs all of the physicians now and does all of those sorts of things. I think for a lot of people, it's hard to grasp just how much impact coaching can have on a business, and also just how much impact you as a coach can have on those humans.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we really, it's interesting. We've been through a lot of things with a lot of people. And I honestly do think by having the fortitude of having medical emergency knowledge and history has been an asset. Yeah. Because, I fondly say, if you have an issue, I'm the girl to put the rat in the table. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's like, because it can't go on and on. It has to be resolved now.
Yeah. I used to deal with people who are dying. Your stuff, pretty easy, but handling the emotions. Handling the emotions, I think, is a big part of that, because a lot of people think of business coaching just as the business side of it. I personally see the human side of it as just as or more important, because they won't implement the business side of it. How do you make sure the human side of it is a part of your focus in the business?
Well, I think it's based around the questions we ask. It's just like one of my clients, I could tell something was up. I'm pretty intuitive. So I finally asked the questions because we were coaching one person. One coach was coaching one person. Another person was coaching the other person. But I noticed that they were married, but they were arriving in different cars.
Got it.
And I was like, what's going on? Anyway, so it's really the questions you ask, and you have to pay attention. And everybody's going to have different goals that they want to hit in a company, especially a family company. And I think that's why we're really great at family companies, because we understand the dynamics. We as a company and as a family had to work this out super early in this business. All right.
I remember when we had one of the best family company guys come down from the menswear business in New York and talk for us was it in the Caymans or in the Caribbean? And he gave us that great speech, and it was like, we do work with a lot of family businesses, but you've expanded well beyond family now. You've built a very solid team. What does that look like in the future? Where does the future of the St. Pete Action Coach organization look like? What's coming up for you guys?
Well, what's really exciting is we have our 10-year exit plan in place. So, and you know who the heir parent's going to be. In fact, Juliet, our daughter, I always like to claim her first, is the managing partner. I'm giving it up. Yes. Okay. After 14 years pushing the ball up the hill, it's time for somebody else to lead.
Yes.
So I get to do what I love, which is coaching. And I get to coach with who I want to. So that's my joy.
The advantage of being the senior partner is that you get to choose your clients and allow the team to now run the business for you. So
isn't that what we talked about, doing a business that could work without you? I mean, really?
And it can. And, you get to do the part you love. You get to do that for as long as you love it. And then if you choose not to. So where do you see Juliet and the team taking the business post yourself and forward, running it on a day-to-day?
Well, we're going to add more coaches so that we can serve more people. So right now we're talking about at least 8. There may be more in the future. We do have 5 coaches. So obviously we will have to be replaced in the future. And, just streamlining so that we can get more efficiencies internally. We put a lot of things in place this year, a lot of things in place in January during our transition. And we just moved to an office so we can accommodate all those people.
Yeah.
And yes, even though everybody's remote, there's something to say about a company, if you're sophisticated in delivering a professional service, about having an office. I still remember probably 10 years ago when somebody came to visit me in our first office. I said, "Oh, you have an office?" Well, yeah. I'm not working out of my bedroom.
Yeah. I think that the professionalism of business coaching is getting stronger and stronger. And you and Ford have been around with me long enough to have seen the industry or the profession shift to that level of professionalism. It rivals that of accounting firms and legal firms, and we're moving in that direction at a very fast rate. And I think a big part of that is because of the results we get with clients. But another big part of that is because we recruit the best of the best people. And I see that as a big part of it. So as you grow, what are you looking for in both clients and coaches? What type of clients suit you guys, and what type of coach suits you guys?
Well, it's interesting. I'll do the client first. Many years ago, we sat down and identified how many industries we had worked with in our area. And it was over 70 different types of industries. So when people say to us, you don't understand our industry, well, it's not true. Because if we haven't, the global franchise that coaches 15,000 business owners a day has the knowledge we need.
Yes.
All right. So anyway, in clients, we want them to be open to learning. They've got to have a really great attitude. They have to be willing to do the work, what we call internally coachable. But they also have to have a going concern, because if they can't invest in coaching, they're never going to have results. Yeah. So it's very challenging when everybody wants coaching, but being able to have the resources, meaning time, people, or whatever that means for them, is really important. And like I said before, we really want to keep our community culture, consistent, if possible. If somebody's not going to do their work, they're not going to stay, and we're not going to keep them. We're going to ask them to leave. We've done that. So for coaches, we're always recruiting, and we kind of learned this from when I had that glass of wine with you on the greens about how Vietnam was recruiting business coaches, and I brought it back to the team, and I said, "Oh my God, we have to do this." So in order to be one of our business coaches on the Tampa Action Coach Tampa Bay team, you have to be pre-qualified. So we take you through a qualification process, and if you make it through, we'll consider it. So, and it's really, really important, because what we found is for at least in our area, it's helpful if you have some kind of sales or marketing.
Yeah. I think it's great though, and as part of the My Coaching story, to see the evolution of your firm and say, okay, we started it out, we were the coaches, we were the salespeople, we did everything. And now we have an organization that does that. And we coach, the people we like and the people we want to keep, and the high-end clients, and allow the team to do what they do. I believe that one of the greatest things about your firm is that you are an example to your clients. You are doing what you teach your clients and building a great, solid business on that. So congratulations to you, Ford and Juliet. And I look forward to how Juliet takes the team forward in the future. But Barb Kyes, thanks for being here on My Coaching Story.
Thanks, Brad. I appreciate your time.